Hi friends, let's continue reading Magic Tree House book, Merlin Mission Number 1, Christmas in Camelot by Mary Pope Osborne. When we left off, a giant white stag took Jack and Annie. Let's see where their adventure takes them now. Chapter 7, A Good Trick. As the wind blew away more fog, Jack and Annie saw a bridge. It was made of thick wooden planks held together with iron bands. It stretched all the way from the edge of the cliff where they were going to the iron gate. Come on, let's go, said Annie. Wait, said Jack. What about the guards? The two guards in gold armor stood perfectly still. Their huge spears gloomed in the torchlight. I don't know, said Annie. Read the second rhyme. Jack looked in his notebook and read aloud. 4 gifts you will need, the first from me, then a cup, a compass, and finally a key. The first gift is the Christmas knight's cloak, said Annie. Yeah, I guess it's supposed to help us somehow, said Jack. He unbuttoned the cloak around his neck. Then he held it out to get a good look at it. Maybe it can make us invisible, said Annie. No, said Jack. Seriously, she said. Cloaks sometimes do that in stories. Well, it didn't make me invisible, did it, said Jack. Maybe you were wearing it wrong, said Annie. Give it to me. Oh, brother, said Jack. But he handed the cloak to Annie. It flapped in the wind as she pulled it around her shoulders. Can you see me, she said. Yes, Annie, said Jack, rolling his eyes. I can see you. Jack looked back at the gate. Even if we got past the guards, what then, he wondered. The other world swallowed up Camelot's best knights. King Arthur said it was filled with magic and monsters. Jack, look at me now. Jack turned to Annie. She wasn't there. Where are you, he said, staring at the darkness. Cool, it works. Where are you, Jack said again, turning around. Here. Jack felt a hand touch his face. Ah, he said, jumping back. It's me. I'm invisible. I pulled the hood over my head. That's the trick. Jack felt a chill run down his spine. Oh man, he whispered. Watch, I'm going to take the hood off. In a flash, Annie was back. It feels creepy to be invisible, she said. Jack was speechless. The magic only happens when you wear the hood, said Annie. Good trick, huh? Yeah, said Jack. He shook his head. This is just too weird. Don't worry about it being weird. It's a great way to get past the guards, said Annie. Plus, it's a way to hide in the underworld. So we don't know what we'll find there, right? Yeah, right, said Jack. Okay. Good, said Annie. Now stand beside me and don't move. Jack put away his notebook. Annie threw the velvet cloak over his shoulders and backpack. Great, it's big enough for both of us, she said. She carefully arranged the folds around them. Then she pulled the huge hood over both their heads. Jack looked down. He couldn't see his body at all. He felt like he couldn't breathe. In a panic, he threw off the hood. I hate that, he said. I told you it's creepy, said Annie. But if we don't wear it, we don't get past the guards. Yeah, I know, and we won't have protection in the other world, said Jack. He took a deep breath. Okay, let's do it. Annie pulled the hood up again. I'll hold on to the hood so it won't blow off, she said. You just think about getting across that bridge, nothing else. But I can't see my feet, said Jack. You don't need to see your feet to walk, said Annie. Come on, do it for Morgan. Right, said Jack. He and Annie stepped over the bridge. Whatever you do, don't look down, said Annie. As they started over the bridge, the wind whistled around them. Jack couldn't help it. He looked down. Not only was his body missing, but the fog beneath the bridge was moving in a wild, spinning whirl. Jack felt dizzy and faint. He stopped. Keep going, whispered Annie. Jack took a deep breath and looked straight ahead. Then he started walking again. He went slowly, step by step, toward the pale light beyond the bars of the gate. In the flickering torchlight, the guards looked like giants. As Jack and Annie slipped invisibly by them, Jack held his breath. How will we open the gate, he wondered. Whoosh, said Annie loudly. Jack's heart nearly stopped. Had Annie lost her mind? What are you doing, he whispered. I'm the wind, Annie whispered back. Whoosh. Annie gave the gate a shove. It swung open as if pushed by the wind. Jack looked back and saw that the guards had turned in their direction. Quick, Annie whispered. She and Jack moved silently through the gateway. Whoosh, said Annie. She pushed the gate back. It shut with a clang. Through the bars, Jack saw the guards face the bridge again. Good work, he said to Annie. Thanks, she said. Jack and Annie then turned away from the gate. Oh, whispered Annie. The other world, whispered Jack. Chapter 8, The Other World. The other world was completely different from the dark, cold world Jack and Annie had just left behind. They were standing at the edge of a pale green meadow. The meadow was bathed in warm, rosy sunlight. 3 horses, one black, one brown, one gray, were grazing nearby. On a hillside beyond the meadow, red and purple sparkles sprinkled like bright buttons. It's so nice here, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. Maybe we won't need this anymore. He pulled the hood of the cloak off their heads. He was relieved to see Annie's face and to see himself. What was the first rhyme again? Asked Annie. Jack took out his notebook. He found the first rhyme and read aloud. Beyond the iron gate, the keepers of the cauldron wait. He looked around warily. I wonder where the keepers of the cauldron are, he asked. What do you mean? Asked Annie. We just sneaked past them, remember? Whoosh. I don't know, said Jack. The rhyme says beyond the iron gate. Those guards were standing in front of the gate. They weren't beyond it. Shh, said Annie, listen. From over the hill came the faint sounds of sweet, joyful music. Maybe the keepers of the cauldron are playing the music, said Annie. Maybe, said Jack. He listened for a moment and smiled. The music made him feel light and happy. Let's go meet the keepers, said Annie. Not so fast, said Jack. Shouldn't we be invisible again, just in case? I guess so, said Annie, sighing. Jack pulled the hood of the cloak over their heads. Together they started walking invisibly across the soft meadow. They passed the 3 horses and climbed the flower-covered hill. At the top they looked down. Oh man, said Jack. The hill sloped gently down into a misty green glade. In the middle of the glade, a band of musicians played flutes and pipes, drums and violins. Around the band, hundreds of dancers danced in a huge circle. The keepers of the cauldron, said Annie. The dancers and musicians were smiling and laughing. They wore blue coats and green coats, white gowns and yellow gowns. They were sprinkling red slippers and hats with colored feathers. The dancers looked like people, except they all had glittering gold skin and wings that shimmered in the mist like spun silver. They're beautiful, said Annie. Yeah, they are, said Jack. I don't think we need to be invisible with them, said Annie. I think you're right, said Jack. He and Annie threw off the red cloak. They left it in the dewy grass and ran down the hillside to the winged dancers. The dancers made no attention to them. They just kept going around and around in their joyous circle. I feel like dancing with them, said Annie. Me too, said Jack. It was strange. He was usually shy about dancing, but he wanted to join in this dance more than anything. Jack pulled off his backpack. As he set it down, he saw 3 swords lying in the grass, but he didn't stop to wonder about them. The music was calling. The winged dancers broke their circle and welcomed Jack and Annie into their dance. Annie held Jack's right hand as he grasped the slender golden hand of the dancer on his left. The dancer smiled down at him. Like the others, she was tall as a grown-up, but she didn't have any lines or wrinkles on her face. All the dancers looked very young, yet they seemed ancient at the same time. As Jack danced around in the circle, his heart leaped. His spirit soared. His glasses fell off, but he didn't care. He kept dancing. As he danced, everything in his mind became a blur. He forgot about Morgan and Camelot. He forgot about the quest for the water of memory and imagination. He forgot all his fears and worries. Jack looked, Annie cried. Jack looked at her. Hi, he shouted, laughing. No, don't look at me, she said. Look there, look across the circle. I can't see, he said. 3 knights, Annie shouted. 3 knights dancing. Great, Jack shouted. No, Jack, they look awful. They look sick, Annie yelled. She pulled away from the circle and tumbled back into the grass. Jack, she called, stop dancing. But Jack didn't want to stop. He wanted to dance to the wild music forever, forever, and ever, and ever. Chapter 9, The Lost Knights. Annie chased Jack around the circle. Stop, Jack, she cried, stop. She grabbed his shirt and tried to pull him out of the dance. Let go, Annie, he said. Leave me alone. But Annie wouldn't let go. Finally, she pulled so hard that Jack broke hands with the dancers and tumbled backward into the grass. The winged dancers didn't seem to notice. They closed their circle and kept going around and around. Why did you do that? Said Jack, sitting up. I was having fun. Look at the knights, said Annie. See them? Jack still couldn't see. The world was spinning before his eyes. He ached to get back into the dance. Here, I found your glasses, said Annie. Put them on. Jack put on his glasses. He peered at the circle of dancers. He caught sight of armor glinting in the sunlight. He saw 3 knights dancing in a row. 2 of them looked very young. The third looked much older. As they came closer, Jack saw their faces. All the joy of the music drained out of him. The knights looked tired and sick. Their hair and beads were long and scraggly. Their faces were bony and pale. Their eyes stared wildly, and their lips were frozen in ghostly smiles. What's wrong with them? Asked Jack. They can't stop dancing, said Annie. They're dancing themselves to death. They must be the lost knights from Camelot, said Jack. We have to save them, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. He tried to clear his mind and think. What about this? We get back in the dance and we take places between the dancers and the knights. Yes, then we can pull the knights out of the circle, said Annie. Wait, said Jack. What if I can't stop dancing again? Just don't let yourself get caught by the music, said Annie. You have to think about something else. Think about why we're here. Think about Morgan. Okay, said Jack, I'll try. Jack and Annie crouched in the grass. They watched and waited as the knights danced closer and closer and closer. Now, shouted Annie. Jack and Annie rushed forward. They broke into the circle on either side of the knights. As Jack started dancing, his feet seemed to fly to the beat of. He felt a wave of great joy. His worries left him. Now, Jack, cried Annie, pull away. But Jack didn't want to pull away. The music rang in his ears. Nothing mattered except the dancing. Jack, pull away now, Annie shouted again. Jack shook his head, trying to shake off Annie's voice. Morgan, Morgan, Annie yelled. The word Morgan made Jack stumble a bit in the dance. Morgan, Morgan, Annie shouted. Jack stumbled again. Then he used all his might to stop himself from dancing. He let go of the hand of the dancer on his right and threw himself out of the dance, pulling the knight on his left with him. Annie and the other tumbled back with them onto the grass. Just as before, the dancers didn't seem to notice. They closed their eyes and kept going round and round in their joyful, timeless dance. All right, will Jack and Annie be able to save the knights? We'll have to keep reading. Till then, bye, friends.